Hey guys, Buffin Game back, bringing another video for our favorite weapon video series, and today we're going to be covering the M13 or the SIG MCX Virtus. So this weapon we recently received some good buffs in the patch this previous week, so I decided to go ahead and pick this back up. I'm going to show you the attachments I like to run with this to make this one of my favorite weapons in the game right now, and we'll get into some multiplayer gameplay that I had here with a Monster 54-9 game, playing some hard points. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is the final design for the M13 or the SIG MCX Virtus that I have. Let's go ahead and take a look at the attachments. I'm going to strip this down and we'll build it from scratch for you. So we're going to start off with the muzzle, and for this one we're going to go with the compensator. So the compensator is going to assist us with the recoil control. Now this is key for this weapon. We're going to build on this particular attachment going forward and kind of make this basically a laser. So the pros being recoil control, the con being ADS speed, as well as aiming stability. And we're going to go ahead and select that. And now next up for the barrel for the weapon. For the barrel, we're going to leave the base barrel. Obviously, the other options here are the Tempest Mini, the Tempest Cyclone, and the Marksman. But we're going to stick with the base, and we're going to make up for some of the ADS speed and other things elsewhere. So we're going to stay with that base barrel. Now for the laser, we're going to go with a tactical laser here. So the pros for this being ADS speed, aiming stability, as well as aim walking steadiness, and the con being that the laser is going to be visible to enemies. But again, that's only when you're ADSing, so you'll see in the gameplay here, if you're careful about where and when you're ADSing, it's really not a problem. You'll see a lot if I'm watching a doorway or something, I know there's enemies that are going to come through, I'll aim on the side of the door, just so the laser's not going through and giving away my position. And if you do stuff like that, and just careful when you're aiming on sight, this attachment, the pros far outweigh the cons for this one. I think this is one of the best attachments in the game as a tactical laser. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on. Now for the optic, this is really personal preference. I think any AR style platform looks good with a holographic. But for the M13 specifically, I find zoom optics, specifically the 3.25 or the 4 times, seem to work best with this weapon to help me personally keep my shots on target. So the 4 times flip is a very good option here. I think this looks very aesthetically pleasing and looks very good overall. What we're going to use is the integral hybrid. So the pros for this is the reflex and scout toggle, and the zoom level, the con being ADS speed. Now we have that 3.25 scope here with that top mounted red dot sight, so we can swap between both those really fast. And again, just honorable mentions here. The other scopes that I really love running, the candid hybrid, very good one, as well as any night map. I play primarily realism now, so thermal hybrid is a very good one as well, and your enemies, especially in night maps, are going to stick out very well with that thermal, and you can also swap to that candid 45-degree mounted red dot sight when you want to. But for this video, we're going to go ahead and do the integral hybrid sight, so we'll go ahead and select that. And now for the stock, we're going to stay with the base stock. The only other option here that I would go for out of these 4 is the M13 Skeleton, and that's going to assist with the aim walking movement speed, as well as the aim down sight speed, and the cons being aim and stability. So we're actually going to make up for a lot of these pros elsewhere, so we can stay with that base barrel and use these attachments in better areas. So we're going to skip out on the perk. Now for the rear grip, we're going to go with the granulated grip tape. So this is going to assist us with our aiming stability and our aim walking steadiness, and the con being aim walking movement speed. But the reason I'm going with this particular grip tape over the other ones, for the simple grip tape, we're kind of making up for this. We're doing what this does with the tack laser, but we're doing it better with the ADS speed and sprint to fire. And then obviously the aim and stability with the con. And the rubberized grip tape is the recoil control, and we're doing that with the compensator and the grip that we're going to put on. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that granulated grip tape to give us that added aim and stability mainly. And then for the ammunition, we're going to stay with the base ammunition for this with that 30 round 5.56. The other options are the 50 round Stenag and the 60 round Stenag, as well as the 300 blackout round. So this is just going to be a heavier round. It's going to travel. The bullet velocity is going to be slower, and the recoil is going to be much heavier. So you need to be sure you have the right attachments if you're going to run this. But for this purpose, I really like just a standard 30 round 5.56. Now for the underbarrel, we're going to go ahead and run a Ranger foregrip. So this is actually my favorite combination with the compensator, and I run these 2 attachments specifically, and also with a tack laser on a lot of my weapons. I find this is best for controlling recoil and just keeping my shots nice and tight, specifically at range. So for the pros, we're going to get the recoil control, obviously, and the aim and stability, and the cons being aim walking movement speed, as well as aim down sight speed. So you see there with those pros, recoil control, which we're also getting with the compensator, and then aiming stability we're getting with the grip, as well as some of the other attachments we put on, like attack laser, all those added together, and we have basically a laser at range here. And you can see here, this is our final design for the M13 or the MCX Virtus, SIG Sauer MCX Virtus here. Now, if we were to throw some attachments on here, I specifically, personally, I run it as just a black rifle. I think it looks best like that, but something like a pinstripe suit or a nightfall, or even some of the woodlands, I think look very aesthetically pleasing for this as well. I do also really like the con for the stripes. I think this is not a really out of control striped camo. I think it's very grounded, more so in reality. You have like the left side of your weapons darker green, it stays more true to the base black, and then the camo on the right side of your weapon isn't crazy. Something like that versus something like a bluegrass or even the pink zebra, just ones that I would never use. I think some of these other ones here are very more grounded in reality and look pretty nice on the weapon. But staying true to SIG Sauer and this weapon, we're going to just keep it black and run this. So this is our final build for the M13 or the SIG Sauer Virtus MCX. So here it is here, and we did a lot of weapon conversions on these, so I'll leave those down below. Now, we picked this weapon up post-patch, and this weapon obviously got a buff this week, and the M4 and the MP5 got a nerf. So the buff that the M13 got was the range increase, as well as a small reduction to horizontal recoil, and a small damage increase to boost headshot effectiveness. So we're playing with this in realism mode, so it's one-shot headshot, so you don't need to really worry about that last one with the headshot effectiveness. But the other two being the range increase and small reduction in horizontal recoil, you'll notice that my shots are nice and tight. We're getting very little to any horizontal bounce on this weapon, and I'm able to drop people at range. So you see right off the bat, I'm playing more cautious, not really playing the objective off the bat, because I'm trying to get these range shots and see how it handles, show you guys. And you'll see I'm able to pick people off from a pretty good distance for an assault rifle in the game. So we're able to drop them very quick, able to pick our headshots, and it's very accurate. Even when I'm letting it rip at full auto, you're able to control and keep shots very tight on target, which is really important with this weapon, especially given the high rate of fire. So there's that, and then you'll see in the beginning of the gameplay, I'm very cautious, not playing the objective as much, because I'm trying to highlight how this is used, and then more towards the middle to the end of the game, I'm getting in there and playing the objective at a lot of CQB situations, and you'll see this weapon is actually very surprisingly good in close quarters combat with hip fire. Actually, even though we don't have the short barrel on this, the hip fire, now that we don't have as much horizontal recoil and we don't really have any attachments on here to help the hip fire, but the high rate of fire along with that horizontal recoil reduction, if you're aiming for the upper chest or head area, you'll see me drop a lot of people with this. And I've played a lot of games with this post-patch, and I'm always surprised how effective it is in close quarters combat CQB just with hip fire. So you see a lot of cases there. For my pistol, the sidearm here, I have a really good run here at the end. I'm using my Glock 18 build that I used in the Glock video, so you can go ahead and check that on the channel as well. We went through all the conversions for that. But go ahead and let me know what you think of the M13 or the SIG Virtus weapon here, the SIG Sauer MCX Virtus. Again, we did the Virtus SBR with the Rattler and some of the other conversions on the channel, so go ahead and check those out as well. What do you think of this weapon post-patch? Is it a lot better? Is it on par with the M4 now? Is this one of the best assault rifles in the game? Personally, I think it is much better. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game. I'm going to be using it a lot more going forward. The high rate of fire and the accuracy has always been very good for me. The only thing I don't like with this, sometimes I get into situations where it feels like I put a lot of shots to the body at range, and it's not putting people down, where obviously something like an M4 or maybe even a Kilo would. So it still isn't a front runner in the assault rifle category, but I think it's a very good weapon. So hopefully this buff will make you maybe go back and pick this weapon back up, or if you're just getting into it, pick this up for the first time and see what attachments that you might want to run on this. With these specific ones, I've played with a lot of them. For me, this operates best with these attachments, and I've played maybe 30 or 40 games post-patch with this, and every single game, even with different attachments, I'm able to get a very high kill depth game. And you'll see in this one, like I said, it's a 54-9 game. So we were supposed to do this video yesterday. I had a pretty good 50-14 game on hardpoint, and unfortunately it didn't record, so I missed out on that. But here we came back today with a nice 54-9, even better on hardpoint. So you'll see the map. We're able to get a lot of shots at range, test out the distance, as well as some CQB. So let me know what you think of this weapon and if you're going to pick it back up now. Also, be sure to check out the Season 2 wishlist video on the channel. We covered that the other week, going through all the weapons that I would like to see added into Season 2 and beyond, as well as different blueprints and attachments that I like to see added into the game. So, for example, for some blueprints like an Alpha AK-47, an XM8, some attachments, if you add the right attachments to weapons, you can make different conversions. So if we got the 5.56 rounds for the Scar Light, we can make a lot of different variations of that weapon. And then if they added one specific, like a good weapon with the right attachment, we can make multiple different weapons, which they've done a good job of doing so far. So for my example in that video, you can check it out for more information. But an HK-417, if they have the right attachments, we'll be able to make an HK-416 as well as an M27 IAR. So go ahead, check out that video out. Let me know down below what weapons and blueprints as well as attachments you'd like to see in the game going forward, perks, kill streaks, things like that. I want to hear from you guys down below. So I'm going to leave you guys with the gameplay. Be sure to check out my links down below. We have a Discord is live too if you want to jump in there and check that out. That link should be down in the description for you. Hop on in and join the community there. And until next time, this is Buffner Gaming with the M13, the buffed M13, the SIG Sauer MCX Virtus. Buffner Gaming, out.
Enemy in the playground.
Location secured. 10 seconds. Get ready to move. Got the VTOL on station. Ready? Go. Get to the next one.
Horseman 3-1 arriving on station, ready for tasking.
The enemy took the hard point. Hammer gunner ready. Allied precision airstrike incoming. Enemy personal radar overhead.
Thunder 1-2 is now on station.
Clear the way! Hard point secured.
Direct hit. That was a whole group.
We're getting a bus! He's going down! Bang! Okay, hard point's moving.
Fine shooting. Rest in peace.
Enemy's got the hard point. They've reached the halfway point. Get...
Good work. Keep stacking them up. This is Thunder. We need to refuel.
Hard point contested. Hard point
Enemy at the
contested.
hotel.
Hard point contested. Get ready. We're about to move. Next hard point. Let's go. Hard point secured. Hard point. Hard point contested. Hard point lost.
Right behind you.
Stand by to move. Enemy precision airstrike. Get down. Go. Get to the next one. Almost done. UAV overhead. Hardpoint contested.
Reloading.
Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. 10 seconds. Get ready.
Enemies in the
We
area.
are out of time. Move. Okay, hardpoint's moving.
Enemy
Hardpoint
near
lost.
Main Street.
Grenade out!
Enemy precision airstrike. Get down. Location secure.
In the playground.
Enemy's taking the hard point. 10 seconds. Get ready to move. Hard point contested. Hard point. Go. Get to the next one.
Enemy at the trench.
Enemy's taking the hard point. The objective is lost. We are not.